Okay, so this is Topmod, and Topmod in my clumsy hands breaks all the time. So I'm going to be doing quite a few operations in Wings 3D that you could probably do in Topmod if I could just work out how to do it and it not crash. So I'm going to start with this cube, and I'm going to select a face, and then if I use Shift key I can select, I can't select another face unless I select the face tool. There you go, and then use the Shift key. Then it's Alt key and the left mouse button to rotate it, and I've been using Wings 3D so I'll keep hitting the wrong buttons. Then I'm going to use this tool here to bring up, should have brought up a little dialogue, it hasn't appeared for some reason. There you go, there it is. And I'm going to extrude selected faces, and I need to do it to these faces again as well, so select that face, use Alt key rotate, select that face, and extrude them again. Right, the next tool is this one here, this add handle, and I'm going to reduce the number of segments because it's going to reduce the complexity of the object. The other object that I made, I've got to find it now, hang on a second. Got it, this one. Okay, this had 10 segments, but it makes it very complicated and it'll be quite time consuming because the process is quite fiddly. So I'll do it with 5 segments and a weight of 12. And the key with this is to get the, looking at the top of the cross, this cube here, select this face, go to that corner, and then this face and that corner, then rotate it, and this face with the left hand corner and this face with the corner facing us again. Now, the next thing to do is to get rid of the cross on the bottom, but every time I try to do that in Topmod, it crashes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this object. So I'm going to save as, and we'll just, well, it doesn't matter, it can be called cube object, right, and then we'll go to Wings 3D, come Wings, oh, just got to be patient because Camtasia slows things down. So file and import object, find my cube, okay, here it is, get rid of the bottom half of the shape, which is what I was after, like so, and even though you can see there's bits of broken geometry, Wings is not going to break when I delete those bits, so I'm just getting rid of these oddments here that are left behind. I should have loop cut it, shouldn't I? There we go. Yes, well, it doesn't really matter. I just need to get rid of that bit there and that bit there, so I'm left with those faces because I'm going to link those back up in Topmod. So file, export object, save it back as cube, replace that one, yes, go back into Topmod now and open. I don't know whether it's going to open over the top of this one, let's see. That's good, it's deleted what was there. So if I hold the Alt key down, right back to where I was before, I've got the same settings, so I just want this face on the left hand side there, this face at the bottom right corner there, so I can link both halves, this face on the left there, this face on the bottom there, and that's created the shape that I'm now going to turn into a skeleton. So I'll just save that again because this is likely to crash, I know that. And then we're looking at one of these tools here that allow me to turn the object into a wireframe. So there's 2 different options here. Let's just see how that looks when I create the wireframe. So you can see it's sort of created like a scaffolding effect. And what I'm going to take advantage of is these junctions here that are opposite one another. Get rid of the in-between scaffolding and replace it. But I'll do that in Wings 3D. I'll just go back a step. So I can modify the thickness here. I'm going to try 0.5 and see how that looks. So I want it to be fairly chunky. I'm just looking for any places where the sides are getting so close that they're overlapping, because that'll create some unfortunate geometry. I'll Control Z back again. I'll try, oh, it's gone up to fractional value there, wasn't expecting that. Let's try 0.65. Create. I'm just looking in here. You see they're not overlapping, so that should be okay. So what I'm going to do with this is export it back now to Wings 3D. So I'll just save that. Go back to Wings, File, New, don't save that bit, File, and import my object, which is there. Right, this is where things get a bit fiddly, and I might end up speeding the video up because it's going to be really laborious for you otherwise. But if I select one of these bridging ribs here, which are if you imagine there's 4 cubes, 4 elongated Mobius, I don't know, rectangles going round with these ribs joining them. So if it's identical and G, what I need to do, that's not going to help me in this, is it? Topmod's actually the better option for taking those out, I think, because it, let me just try that. Yes, if I do it by getting rid of the faces rather than the edges, it will be better, because I need to leave these 4 rectangles intact and go all the way around and get rid of all the other bits. So let's see, I don't think there's going to be many identical ones, we'll see. So I've selected one of these linking sections, press G to go all the way around, select face and delete them. It's not working too bad. Press space to deselect everything, go for edge, so it's G and faces and delete, press space, select an edge, identical, so I get more, G, faces, delete, space, identical, G, faces, delete. It's not going too bad, I suppose. Still going to be quite a few to go at, as you can see. So I'll select a few of these and see if I can pick a few off in one go. If I select some of the wrong bits of the geometry there, it's going to set me back. So just pick some of these out, press identical, get faces and delete. Control Z, I must have, need to press G, don't I? Control Z, so Control Alt Z will take me back. G, so I go all the way around the outside. That's it. So I'm just trying to leave these 4 strips. Right, so edge, edge, edge. I did mention this was quite fiddly, didn't I, to begin with? So G, identical, I, key, G, then they're all the way around, then get all the faces and delete all the faces. So how's that looking? There's 1 or 2 oddments here, so get that one, identical, G, face, delete. Nearly there, actually. Right, on to the next fiddly step soon. You'll probably not be pleased to hear. So just pick these last few bits out. Identical, G, which is, I can never remember what G stands for. It's in here somewhere. It's an edge ring. Switch to faces and delete. So I'm trying to drill that into my memory. Right, now we've got these 4 elongated ones, and what we're going to do is connect the opposite sides to one another. Now you will notice where the ribs were connecting the edges of the cubes that were in the wireframe, they're of even spacing and the other ones are of odd spacing. So you want the even spacing ones and you want to bridge the opposite ones of the even spacing ones, which is where things get a bit fiddly in the old wireframe view. So that face there, for example, turn the thing round, can't see where it's selected very easily, so you have to sort of remember and work it out. We'll connect to that face there, so you just go highlight those 2 and bridge, and that's bridge those 2 together. You see that? Now the next thing then is opposite ones, so it's that one there and that one needs bridging. Try and work it out by turning this round, it gets a bit confusing, to that one there. You can always go back by controlling Z, and Wings 3D is far less likely to crash. So this pair are being connected all the way around, and this are alternating, and hopefully, because of using the right number of duplications, because we've got the segments will always be even in number, even if you selected odd segments, it should mean that when you get all the way around, the last pair will align with one another, so you won't have it'll be symmetrical, if you know what I mean. So it'll go odd even on these, and then eventually line up again. So it's a matter of spotting the one where one was connected before, then the one which it's facing on the opposite corner there, and bridging them together, and that gives you this effect. Now it looks crude at the moment, but when it's smoothed out it should improve its appearance. I've not tried it with this low number of segments and or this thicker section, so it's a bit of an experiment, but it's going to be interesting to try out. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably, once you've got the idea what's going on here, which I'm sure you probably already have, is just get on with this, and I'll come back to it, or if I can speed the film so you can see what I did, then perhaps that would help. I don't know. Okay, I think I've managed to get all the way round now, and I reckon I've done it right. Hopefully I've not got two sections where they're both going in the same direction. Hang on a minute, that looks like I have just there. Look at that. There. That's going from that one to that one. That looks like it is as well, so I'll have to tidy that up. Let's see if I can sort that out. I'll do it like I did the edge ring before. So select an edge that's going across, press G, select the faces, delete. It'll probably become clearer if I manage to do it right once I start smoothing the object. I'm going to save it before I do that, so I'll just bridge that up there, file, and export this as its OBJ. Okay, save it over the one I did before, it doesn't really matter, and then I'm going to smooth this up and we'll see if I managed to do it right or not. So it's got an interesting organic look to it because it's made up of all those chunky squares, and hopefully, yep, that looks like that's worked. So it's better to split it into two objects with the materials. It's only considered one object at the moment because of the way it's formed. So I'll go back to being a chunky shape, which just use Control and Alt and then Z, and you can go step back progressively. Select one of the faces on this one, maybe another one there, just so it's a bit of the way round, and just press the plus key, and that'll extend the faces so they all go all the way around the object. Then I can right click and right click on material while it's on face mode, and that'll give me a new material. And the nice thing about that is that that will now be treated as a separate object. So, and when it's lit up, selected, it's easy to see whether I've made any mistakes with any of the crossing bits. So at this point then, now I've got it as, it's going to be two objects, identifiable or material. You can apply different materials to each side. Then smooth it down to whatever level is going to be suitable for rendering, and then I'll pop it into Bryce and Octane and render that out, and then you can see how it was made. A rather fiddly process, but I think the results are quite pleasing in a way. It's not the pure shape that you often get with using the Topmod, which I've seen. They're very nice, they are too, and it's not like a highly angular shape. It sort of occupies a sort of middle ground where it looks quite organic, like something that's been made out of a piece of wood, which I rather like that. So maybe I'll put some wood materials on it and try rendering it with that. Okay then, hope you found that interesting and that you'll have a go with this process in your own renders.